Even as tension between Israel and Iran grows, we have with us Kobi Shoshani, who is the Consul General for Western India. Kobi Shoshani, thank you so much for your valuable time and for speaking to CNN News 18. I want to start off with the first question. Iran has already carried out drone and missile attack on your territory. What is the current situation now?
First of all, good morning, Vinaya. Yes, it's right. 2 days ago, it was an attack from Iran towards Israel, direct attack from Iran with more than 340 missiles, ballistic missiles, drones, and other missiles towards Israel. It was a dramatic evening in Israel. And right now, as far as we know, no major casualties, no damage because of our fantastic anti-ballistic missiles program, along with our allies in the region. And that was the result. And right now, we are waiting for the next news to come.
But, you know, the Israel War Cabinet met late last night. What are the steps that have been discussed? What's Israel planning to do?
It was a lot of discussion, as far as I know, in the cabinet, what going to do. I was not a part of the cabinet, and I don't know what's happened there, but it was a variety of possibilities, and I assume that Israel will find the right way to react to this brutal attack towards Israel.
How do you see these attacks, especially at a time when several activities have been suspended? Educational activities had also been halted, Kobi Shoshani, but we've just learned that partially they are slated to begin. What is the status now?
I have to tell you in a very open way, I think it was a mistake by the Iranians to send such a missile because, first of all, what we saw that Israel and its allies with the best technology in the world, by far, when 99% of the missiles were intercepted, it's something which is unprecedented. There's something that everybody would like to learn what's going on. Second thing, the cooperation, and of course, definitely the cooperation between our neighboring countries and our friends and allies from the United States and Britain and other countries towards Iran is something extremely important for us and to the region. Everybody understands that Iran is part of the bad guys in the area.
You're saying Iran is one of the bad guys in the area. Iran has warned you against responding militarily. How do you look at this warning?
As I mentioned before, I think the cabinet, they have to calculate everything, but definitely such an attack towards the state of Israel from far away from a sovereign country is something that cannot be stay without any reaction. It will be a reaction, but definitely the result is the most important thing right now. I think that leave the verbal aside for a second and see what is the result, what is the combination, and what's the cooperation that we made along with our neighbors, because everybody understands what's going on in this of this regime. By the way, we don't have anything against the Iranian people. We respect them very much. Some of them very nice. I get many messages from Iran, by the way, from other Arab and Muslim countries, sending me support and love from their country, which show the strength and the importance of our allies combination that we made this night.
But, you know, at this juncture, we are seeing that the international community is against escalation of any tension within the region. We have seen how External Affairs Minister has spoken both with your country as well as with Iran. There are concerns rising everywhere. How does Israel look at this growing international community concern about this escalation?
It's a very good question. You know, eventually, in the end of the day, you have to calculate and to take all the forces around and to get the best solution. When you build up such a fantastic coalition, when you have a fantastic technology, when eventually, in the end of the day, the damage was a little bit, then you have to calculate everything. And of course, we would like to cooperate with the international arena and of course with our allies and definitely with the Western world. Instability is not good to everybody, and I am sure that we are taking part of it. We would like to bring normality to the area and to bring prosperity to the area as well. And I think this is most of the countries around us would understand.
Are you pressing for any sanctions against Iran for the kind of attack that it has done on Israel?
Definitely, I'm expecting from definitely United Nations and the General Assembly, and of course the Security Council as well, to understand what is the meaning of Iran. Actually, right now, it's not only words. its missiles, and I'm talking about hundreds of missiles, anti-ballistics. Of course, this system that we have built along the Arrow system, along with the Americans and other friends of us, that gave almost 100% shield from these missiles, is not enough. The potential and the risk of the regime is, I mean, it has to be very clear by the Security Council, definitely, and we are looking forward for that. I would like to know what's going on today. It's going to be a very good and it's very good, very interesting decision by the security. And of course, we have to calculate all this information along together.
Do you see this de-escalating or escalating in the coming days, Kobi Shoshani?
It's very difficult to say right now. What I saw that the Israeli airspace and all the Middle East open right now. I have to tell you, by personal, you know, I have 3 kids in Israel. They've heard the siren in Israel, in Jerusalem. By the way, not far away from Muslim mosques. And they saw the missiles, the anti-ballistic missiles coming from Israel, and of course the interaction with the Iranian missiles. This is something that I think that even in the Muslim world, people should understand that such an aggressive and violent action is not good for the world.
Kobi Shoshani, I want to also ask you about MSC Ares. Now, Iran has seized a commercial vessel with links to Israel, which was passing through the Strait of Hormuz. There's severe concern, particularly in India, because there are 17 Indians on board the vessel. How do you see this? The US has already called it an act of piracy.
It's connected to the first issue. I think that what we saw from Iran is aggressive terror state that actually tried to make damage to the world economy, to not only to India, by the way, to other countries. And I think most of the countries in the region understand that such an aggression against any country, and it's just partially Israeli ship. And definitely it's not good for the world economy. And I think that the big superpower in the world understand that it's not good for them. And this is the reaction that we have to find out, along with friends and even some people who are less friends to us, to find out a solution for this, what's happening at seas. You have to remember that 99% of the international cargo and shipments going through the sea. This is something which is a very dramatic way.
Well, there is concern, particularly in India, for the 17 families which wait for their loved ones to return, even as they are not able to have a word with them. How is your sentiment with respect to the families which are waiting for to hear from their loved ones from on board that vessel, Kobi Shoshani?
It's a very easy sentence for me to say. We are brothers. What's happened to India is hurt us as an Israeli. It's a bond for many, many, many years, maybe more than thousands years. And I hope that all these our brothers from India will come back home to Bharat.
How do you see this act with the international community calling on Iran to release the vessel, with the US specifically calling it an act of piracy? How do you see this act by Iran?
I think it's a terror attack. I cannot describe it in other words. To take civil ship and boat and vessel by military forces, this is something unacceptable, and I think that everybody can understand it, even the countries that don't like us so much. And it's hurt them as well, I think, because eventually it's a risk right now to some of the countries to send boats in this area. And I think people have to understand it. And I think that there is a common understanding about the risk of these actions.
Kobi Shoshani, one last question for you. If you could describe the kind of escalation of tension that is going on, what the kind of attacks that Israel is facing right now, and within the coming few days, do we see at least the educational activities within Israel resume? There's also concern about the Indian community in Israel and their safety.
I think, first of all, we would like to bring as much as we can more Indian to Israel. We need them. We love them. They are well integrated. I think Israel is a very safe country right now. Of course, and we saw it in the recent days that we have a fantastic shields in a case of. But I met so many Indians that work in Israel, and they are happy. They are not worried, and they still eating chicken tikka and dal and masala. without any fear in Israel. And I think this is a part of our strength and our power. And I don't think that there right now no risk to anybody, no, in Israel at all.
Will the educational institutions resume their operations in Israel, and by when will that be?
I think today's a holiday in Israel. We're going to start a very big holiday. It's the mid-year holiday. It's called Passover. Then all the institutions are closed, but I assume I have 3 students in Israel, my kids, and they will continue and learn from I think 2 weeks from now after the holiday will be over. You know, Israel and India, it's a long holidays, as you probably know.
Kobi Shashani, thank you so much for your valuable time. We hope that the tension between the 2 countries de-escalates quite soon and there is peace in the region. Thank you for speaking to CNN News 18.